Good afternoon and welcome to one and all attending the webinar. So let me start by introducing myself. So my name is Hina Kausar. I am a Sales and Marketing Executive at MyCloudDoor. It's always interesting to hear from an expert about the latest trends and changes in the industry. So it's my pleasure to welcome Jose Genzer, our Security and Architecture TS Director at MyCloudDoor. So let me just quickly look into the agenda. So Jose has an extensive experience in designing and managing secure architectures for cloud environments, and today he will address the challenge of hybrid cloud. So, and also he will share with us his insights on how easily we can manage multi-cloud environments with Azure Arc, followed by a live demo. So we believe today's webinar will be insightful for each one of us, and we look forward to diving deeper into these topics with Jose. Following the presentation, we will have a Q&A session where we can engage Jose and discuss the topic. So thank you, and without any further delay, I invite Jose Genzer to take over the mic. Thank you.
Hello, Gina. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I am going to speak about security in multi-cloud or hybrid environments with the different challenges. Okay, the first challenge is 19% of companies is working only with one cloud environment. 30% of companies are working in more than 5 cloud environment. This is a very important or significant challenge for the security departments because we need to manage multiple tools or multiple solutions to get the security posture. Okay. Another challenge is the cost reduction, because many companies are working with several projects to reduce the cost of the cloud. In some cases, using new technologies. In other case, improving the cost optimizations. A significant challenge is the data explosion, because in a multi-cloud environment is quite complicated to manage or govern the data and the secure data. Okay, this is a multi-cloud management solution landscape. We can see different cloud providers or hybrid cloud. This is a typical scenario for multiple companies. They are working with many cloud providers, many solutions, many tools, and the challenge is complicated because manage this scenario with multiple tools or multiple solutions need of the preparation and skill of IT teams or security architects. If I am working with multi-cloud scenarios or hybrid environments, we have an important question. And now, who manages this? We need automation, data governance, monitoring, microservice, SQL databases, use multiple locations. We need an inventory, chart tracking, and different security solutions for team management, security posture, service publishing, and so on. The answer to this question is Azure Arc. Azure Arc is the Microsoft solutions for manage any cloud environment, on-premise environment, even edge environment. We can use the same tools and same governance and same security posture to any platform. Azure Arc include all security services or Azure security services to extend the features of the Azure security to these environments. Azure Arc have different benefits. The first one is we have the same security operations and governance deployed in Azure to manage any cloud platform or any on-premise or hybrid environment. Azure Arc have two important features. One is in Azure Arc enabled services, two data governance, and Azure Arc infrastructure and devices for manage infrastructures in any place. We can use the same tools and experience. For example, we can use GitHub and Microsoft Visual Studio to manage these environments. Okay, this is an important diagram of Azure Arc. In this diagram, we can see we are controlling or managing our on-premise environment, for example, Azure Stack, HCA, or VMware. We are managing our cloud environment, for example, Amazon Web Services or Google Cloud Platform, with the same tools. Sentinel, Defender for Cloud, Azure Monitor, Azure Insight, policies, and so on. We can deploy or we can manage Kubernetes services in Azure, in on-premise, or in other cloud environments. For example, I can manage Kubernetes in Google Cloud from Azure Arc, or I can manage Kubernetes deployed in my on-premise environment from Azure Arc. The same way, if the service was in my cloud environment. Also, we can deploy or manage data services in any cloud or on-premise environment. For example, I can deploy a Postgres database in a Kubernetes, deploy my on-premise environment, and these databases and these Kubernetes I can manage from my Azure Arc. Azure Arc is the only service to manage all platform, all cloud environments, or on-premise solutions. I can use my DevOps solutions, my DevOps methodology, because Azure Arc is integrated with Azure DevOps, GitHub, and other typical DevOps solutions. Okay. Azure Arc have two significant connectivity modes. One is indirectly connected, and the other one is directly connected. I can use indirectly connected in the case of I don't have permanent connection with internet. For example, in an IoT environment, if I have permanent connection with internet, I can use directly connect. I have more features using directly connect than indirectly connect. And I can use different protocols or different security features depending on my connectivity. For example, if I am working with indirectly connected, I only work with local authentication. In the case I am working indirectly connected, I can use Azure Active Directory authentication. Okay. Azure Arc have some deployment models. I can deploy Azure Arc for a virtual machine. In the case that I have a SQL server, I can deploy an SQL managed instance in my, for example, on-premise infrastructure, or I can deploy and manage daily Azure services, for example, SQL managed instance. We can see this scenario later because I have prepared a demonstration with a data controller more than Kubernetes services. Other important feature in Azure Arc is Resolve Bridge. Resolve Bridge allow us to deploy virtual machines from Azure to VMware, Azure Stack HCI, and System Center Virtual Machine Manager from Microsoft. I can start, I can deploy, I can stop, I can customize virtual machines from Azure Stack. From Azure Arc. For example, I can stop a virtual machine, I can resize virtual machine disks, I can resize virtual machine CPU and memory. And as the summary is, I can use Azure Stack HCI and Azure Arc for on-premise workload. I can use Azure Arc Resolve Bits for the integration con virtual machine, VMware, System Center Virtual Machine Manager, or Azure HCI. I can use Azure Arc Data Services for multi-cloud or hybrid databases. And I can use Azure Arc Infrastructure for security and management of multi-cloud or hybrid infrastructures. I have different solutions for different needs. Okay, how we create a security architecture with Azure Arc? Start with security myths. For example, all cloud providers describe the SaaS security model in the same way. is not true. Cloud resources are inherently secure, or security responsabilidad of the cloud provider, or on-premise security and multi-cloud work the same way. For example, the security is responsibility of the cloud provider and is our security and our responsibility. All cloud providers have many security solutions that I can use for improve the security of resources in the cloud. But it's my responsibility and the responsibility of the cloud provider. And the security of a on-premise environment is not the same of the security of a cloud environment. Top 3 multi-cloud challenges. The first one is security. It's the principal challenge of the companies. The second one is integration data across multi-cloud. Integration include data governance, include governance, and the last one is managing costs across clouds. It's complicated to manage the cost of only one or a single cloud provider. In the case of work with many cloud providers, is very complicated to get a cost optimization if I don't have the proper tools. Another problem is lack the IT skill required. If I have many tools to manage multi-cloud environments, is an important challenge for my IT departments. I need a single solutions for this challenge. Okay, more cloud security challenges. For example, weak control plane, data breach, insecure interface and APIs, insider threats, limited cloud use and visibility. I know many companies that are working with different solutions or different tools for its challenge. One solutions for controlling data breaches, one solutions for controlling insider threats, and other solutions for improve the control plane security. If I use Azure Arc, I can manage this is challenge using only a single solution. Microsoft have many security solutions included in Azure. For example, Microsoft Defender for Cloud, Microsoft Sentinel, Azure Monitor, or Azure Policy. Microsoft Defender for Cloud allow us to get a security posture, compliance dashboards, or risk management. Microsoft Sentinel is the CNSOAR solution of Microsoft. Azure Monitor is a great solution to monitor the performance and metrics of Azure, and Azure Policy allows us to manage or audit all services in Azure. These solutions are integrated with Azure Arc. So I can use, for example, Microsoft Defender for Cloud to manage the security of a VMware environment, Amazon Web Services cloud provider, Google Cloud, Azure IoT, on-premise environment, and so on. The first service, or the first security solution, is Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Microsoft Defender for Cloud is the native security solutions for all services in Azure. Okay. I can extend the security of Microsoft Defender for Cloud to another cloud providers or on-premise environment using Azure Arc. For example, I can get a security posture or compliance status of Amazon Web Services from the dashboard of Defender for Cloud. This is an example. In this example, I have Defender for Cloud. Defender for Cloud have many security features. For example, vulnerability assessment or advanced threat protection. I can use Microsoft Defender for Cloud to manage the security of Azure Kubernetes Service Cluster, or I can use Microsoft Defender for Cloud to manage the security, the Kubernetes service in Google, Amazon Web Services, on-premise. Is the same scenario for me working in Azure with Kubernetes than working in Google with Kubernetes. This is a standard dashboard of Defender for Cloud. I can manage the security of Azure, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud. I can extend with Azure Arc the security to my on-premise environment or even the security in these cloud providers. Okay. Other important service is Sentinel. Sentinel is the CN and SOAR of Microsoft. CN is 3 analytics, and SOAR is managed automation. I can use Sentinel for Azure, for Amazon Web Services or other cloud providers, and I can use Sentinel for on-premise workloads. It's only one tool for any platform. I don't need different tools or solutions depending on the cloud provider, the environment, the solution. No, it's not necessary. I have only one solution. Sentinel have an important threat management. I have many dashboards. I have hunting queries. I have notebooks for machine learning. I can connect Sentinel with many Microsoft and non-Microsoft solutions. I have playbooks for automate the response in the incidents. I have the analytics queries. I can work with the community to find information or to download features for Sentinel. And this service is integrated with Log Analytics. In this diagram, I can see an incident analytic in Sentinel. This incident can provide from Azure, Amazon Web Services, on-premise, Exchange Online, Fortinet, many connectors, many data connectors for DC solutions. In this case, I can see I have different machines, different IPs, different users, and different incidents. This is the timeline of the incident. The incident starts with anomalous login and finish with a mass download. It's very, very useful, this tool. Okay. Another service that I can integrate with Azure R is Azure Policy. Azure Policy allows us to audit the configuration of many services in any cloud provider using Azure R, or I can use Azure Policy to prohibit different actions. For example, I can prohibit deploy an Azure resource in a region, or I can prohibit use encryption protocol in different services, or I can audit the configuration of the MySQL databases. In this example, I can see the overall resource compliance. I have 5 Linux virtual machines. In this case, only 2 of 5 Linux virtual machines are compliant with my policy. This could be my customized policy, my own policy, or this could be an standard compliance. For example, PCI. Another service integrated with Azure R is Automanage. Automanage is a service that we can create templates of the security solutions. And the last 3 services, and very important services, are update management. With update management, we can manage and update Windows and Linux virtual machines in any cloud platform or on-premise environment. Chain tracking. Through chain tracking, we can follow the chain of the files, services, registry in Windows machines, or files and daemons in Linux machines. And the last one is inventory. Using inventory, I can manage the software and files inventory in my Windows and Linux virtual machines. Okay, I am going to show the demonstration. One moment, please. I'm going to change. This is our demonstration environment. If I'm going to search in Azure Arc, I have the main tool. Okay. This is the main tool, Azure Arc Servers. In this tool, I can manage all Azure Arc features. In this case, I am going to see only two features, Kubernetes clusters and servers. In the presentation, I said I can manage Kubernetes services in Azure, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Oracle, any cloud provider, or on-premise environment. In this case, I can see we have two Kubernetes clusters. This is a Kubernetes cluster deployed in Amazon Web Services, and this is deployed in Azure. I go to the Kubernetes services. I can see the Kubernetes version, IAM version, infrastructure, location, and for example, I can control or I can manage the security of AKS. In this case, I don't have any recommendation. I can see the namespaces. Okay. An important detail is if I'm going to look the service in this cluster, I can see, okay, I have different services here because I have deployed a SQL managed instance, Azure SQL managed instance in a Kubernetes cluster. And in this case, I have deployed a Postgres, Azure Postgres instance in Kubernetes. I can make the same deployment in any Kubernetes service. With a single tool, I can deploy and manage all Kubernetes in any platform. Even I can deploy Azure services in these Kubernetes services. I can, if I go to Amazon Web Services, this is the another Kubernetes cluster managed by Azure Arc. This is the cluster. This is the cluster in Azure Arc, in Amazon Web Services. If I search in the services of this cluster, I can find Microsoft Defender. I am managing the security configuration of this cluster from Azure Arc, more Azure Defender for Cloud. A single solution to manage any Kubernetes service. I search a pod with policy and I have Azure policy. I am managing with Azure policy more Azure Arc the security of this cluster deployed in Amazon Web Services. Okay. I can work with Kubernetes clusters and I can work with servers. For example, in this case, different servers with Windows operating system or Linux operating systems in on-premise environment, in Amazon Web Service environment, managed by Azure Arc. If I am going to see this virtual machine is a Windows virtual machine. I can see the security of this virtual machine, recommendations about the security incidents and alerts of this virtual machine. This virtual machine have an attack, 5 attacks. I can control the policies assigned to this virtual machine. Okay. For example, in my Linux virtual machine, this virtual machine is deployed in Amazon Web Services. I go to Amazon Web Services, moment. I see 2 instance. Okay. Instance working. Perfect. This is the virtual machine. I can see the security of this virtual machine. I have 2 recommendations. I can apply policies to this Amazon Web Services instance. For example, deploy configure log analytic extension, compliant, perfect, or a compliance security. For example, authentication to Linux machines so require S8 case, compliant. Policies only for this machine. For example, Azure Linux baseline updates of this virtual machine. I can manage the update of an instance deployed in Amazon Web Services from Azure Arc. Inventory. Inventory. Later we will see inventory. Inside, I can manage the performance of this virtual machine, the free space in the volumes. I can manage the Windows virtual machines in Amazon Web Services with the security, more recommendations, policies, updates, free pending updates, inventory. This virtual machine, this instance, have 79 software installed, 221 service deployed, stopped or running, chain tracking. I can manage the chain over the services, events, files, registry, software, Windows services. I can manage the performance of this instance deployed in Amazon Web Services. Even I can see the map of the connections. I can control, I can manage the connection of this instance with other services in Amazon Web Services. Okay. I can go to Defender for Cloud and see the security alerts. I have different security alerts. This is a forced root attack. On-premise. Different solutions. Amazon, all solutions. I have my security posture for any service. Okay. And two more things. I said Azure Bridge. Azure Bridge allows us to deploy virtual machines in Azure Stack HCI, VMware, and Microsoft System Center Virtual Machine Manager. Here is the option. I can create and deploy and manage virtual machines in VMware vSphere, Azure Stack HCI, and System Center Virtual Machine Manager directly from here, from Azure Arc. And I'm going to share my last tool. One moment, please. This tool is Azure Data Studio. Azure Data Studio allows us to manage different cloud providers and different database solutions. In this case, I have a cluster managed by Azure Arc, and in this cluster, running in different spots, I have a SQL Man Assistance. This is administrator, cores, region, platform, Azure Arc, and I am managing a Postgres database running or working in a pods in Kubernetes services, managing by Azure Arc. This is the place, the location, Azure, Spain. It's not the region of Azure, it's the region of Azure Arc. Okay, that's all. Please feel free to ask any question. You can write the question in the chat. Please feel free to write question, comments, doubts. You have more email or more contact. If anybody have any question, can send me an email with the doubt. Thank you for your time.